Hi, guys. I feel like I have not seen you forever. Hello. Mute. Yay, I got it muted before. Oh, look at, I have this deep line. That was not there before. I don't remember that there. Anyway, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tarot Tuesday. How is everyone? I hope everyone is doing really well. It's the beginning of yet another week. Hi, Stephen. Hello, hello, hello. So, first of all, how is everyone? How is everyone doing? I will tell you how I am first, since it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. I did go on Facebook to say hello last week sometime. I can't remember when exactly now. I'm really glad you can see a little bit. We have been trying to reorganize for a couple days. It's, it is spring cleaning kind of time. Hi, MA. So I'm like surrounded by boxes and I'm tired. It's been a while. Well, hello, Harley. Harley. Yep. I will warn you ahead of time that COVID brain is a real thing. Last Tuesday when you finished. Yes, that's when it was. That's when I went on. I went on to YouTube after Stephen finished last Tuesday to just kind of check in and say hello and see where everybody was at. Peter and I are feeling better. We tested negative, I think it was Thursday. But because the virus can spread still, I've heard several different ways. It's like 14 days past like 3 days before you got symptoms. It's ridiculous. Like, however they figured out, it's kind of ridiculous. But today this should be like no shedding day for sure. Even on the widest margin of what that means, supposedly. So yay. I am feeling better. Peter's feeling better. It's funny, it changes everything when you're that sick for a while. We really got really sick because we don't normally get sick. I'll say it that way. As far as COVID goes, apparently it really wasn't all that horrible of a case of COVID. But we were exhausted. We were in bed for like a week. And just exhausted. And it changed our sleep schedule, although mine is starting to come back. Poor Peter is still, like, he's up till 3, 4 in the morning and sleeps a little bit later and stuff because it just, like, we could only sleep an hour and then we were up for hours. It was so weird. It was not a fun experience, to say the least. And, I just no energy, 0 energy levels. And then I missed Beltane, which, kind of kills me. I did a little bit here and there. Hi, Kim. Hi, Willow. I did a little bit here and there to at least celebrate in my own way. And I planned on doing a ritual. My Beltane altar is still up, but I think I'm probably going to move on to Litha this year. I think I celebrated it in my own way, even though it was weird, very weird for me not to celebrate here on YouTube. But I think I think I am gonna move on to Midsummer. Especially now. Today is the first day we've had temperatures in the 70s. It feels very nice. I started pulling my fairy garden out. And we started kind of finally planning the planting part. We're going to end up getting plants this year, I think, instead of a bunch of seeds. Although I might do a couple seeds, but all week. Yay! I'm so glad, Court, because oh my goodness, I need this outside time, really. As a matter of fact, tomorrow the park or trailer park has the spring cleaning dumpster. Once a year they do a dumpster for people to kind of spring clean and get shit out of the way. So it's like one of those weeks that it should be a good week to do all that kind of spring cleaning and organizing. And if you could see around me, yeah, that's what I've been doing since yesterday, kind of. So but in the meantime, everything is kind of out and annoying and stuff, but here we are. Yay. No. Okay. All right. So, because I have been gone, for a couple weeks, first of all, I want to say again, thank you to Stephen, who really stepped up. He's so good to me. He really stepped up, took over Tarot Tuesday for weeks for me now. I so appreciate him and everything that he has done over the years for me, but he was so good about this. I really couldn't have asked for a better admin. Hi. So Stephen, thank you, sweetheart. I could not have done this without you. I felt so much better knowing that he was going to really step up, and I knew that he would do a great job. So thank you. And I figured since it's been a couple weeks since I've been here and I haven't really had COVID brain is a real thing. I will tell you that there's a lot of things that have come up since I have been sick that I totally know, but like I can't quite reach that spot in my brain that says what it is I'm looking for. So I have not had a whole lot of study time with my tarot stuff. So I thought it would be a good week to kind of play some tarot games. There's tons of tarot games that you can play on your own. You can play with like a small group of people. So I thought let's play a couple of the tarot games and see. Now, of course, what we call bringing the tarot to life is probably the funnest. And, you know, DG was saying that she's all excited. Are we playing that? And I forgot. I was going to link the YouTube video, but during the first Witchy Palooza, it was actually for, so it was, gosh, what was it? June, I think, of 2018. I did this exercise from this book. This book is called Bringing the Tarot to Life. I highly recommend it because it's a good way to do some fun things to study tarot. It doesn't have to, you know, be all memorization and stuff like that. But one of the things that they recommend in here is this game that you act out the tarot cards if you have a big group. And so we did that for Simon, you know, Simon from, what is this channel called now? See, this is what I mean by COVID brain. Yep. I can remember his old tarot name and not his new name. Damn it. Hermit's Cave. Thank you. He does every year, he does the Tarot-thon. So my part of the Tarot-thon happened to be in the middle of Witchy Palooza. Thank you, Emma and Stephen. I'll get there, I swear. It's funny, I remember his first YouTube channel's name. But it was loads of fun. And then we did it again at Witchy Palooza last year, which was also very fun. But there's actually a video for the first Witchy Palooza. It was for Tarot-thon. So I'll try to remember to link that someplace because it really was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of people and we used props and stuff. And we'll probably be doing that again this year. there are lots of other games and activities and stuff in this book to do, though. So I thought I kind of put bookmarks in quite a few that I thought we might be able to do on the channel together, so that we could just kind of have some fun with the tarot and, you know, still learn, but have some fun and still learn. Yeah, I said that. This is going to be that kind of video, guys. Which is why I'm doing games, because heaven forbid if I had to teach right now, the brain thing just hasn't quite kicked back in the way I want it to. Okay. So there are so many that I have, like, I don't know, 10 different bookmarks in here, and we probably won't get to all of the bookmarks. But I figured we just kind of choose a couple and start and see what happens. Sound good? Okay. So the first one, and again, let me just say again, these ideas are not mine alone. They come from this book, which I really, really enjoyed this book. I find myself referring back to it when Witchypalooza comes around. It's if you get a group of people together that are like-minded people that all kind of know tarot or are trying to learn tarot, this is a great book to have to just kind of do some. They have like some icebreakers and that kind of thing, and they have games that, you know, solitary games that you can do for yourself that just make it different and interesting. And they have group games and stuff too. So I really liked this book a lot, and I definitely recommend it. This one is called It Takes a Village, a Tarot Eulogy. I like this one. So let's assume that the 78 cards in a deck represent the inhabitants of a small community, all of whom know each other. This exercise is meant to emphasize the interconnectivity of the cards and how they relate and play off one another in a reading. Hi, Crimson Moon. Oh, I am sending you good energy then. There's a lot of, it is Mercury retrograde, so be careful, but it's a good time to kind of do some transition stuff. Just be careful if you have an interview or something, because your communication very often during Mercury retrograde is not as good as you would like it to be. So boost yourself up with some like blue lace agate, lapis, chrysocolla, stuff like that. Okay, actors have done similar exercises when they are exploring how their lives are inextricably linked to the other characters in a play. A member of the community has passed on, and you have been asked to write and deliver the eulogy. So we're going to randomly choose a card from the deck. Super bummed. I may be permanently deferred from donating plasma because I don't know what caused the pulmonary embolism I had at the beginning of COVID. So they won't let you donate plasma? Really? Because of a PE? I did not know that. No kidding. Okay, randomly choose a card from the deck. So we're going to randomly choose a card that represents the person who has died. Okay? If it is a card without a figure depicted like the Ace of Pentacles, we'll think of someone who would be... Actually, we're just going to choose another card. If it doesn't have any person in it at all, we're going to choose a different card, because for our purposes, we want a person. And then we're going to randomly choose a card from the deck that represents the person giving the eulogy. Okay? So the person talking about the dead person and the dead person. Let's say that the person being eulogized turns out to be one of the characters in the Four of Wands, and the person delivering the eulogy is the main figure in the Six of Wands. What would the Six of Wands have to say about the character in the Four of Wands? And so on. And then here are some suggestions for writing the eulogy. So let's pick our cards. Okay, let's pick. The first card we're going to pick is the dead person. Who it is that we're going to be eulogizing. I missed you all too. I can't tell you how much I missed being on and interacting with you guys. And it's very weird to, like, I was so sick the first Tuesday. I don't even think I was aware. I remember someone in my admin group, and I don't know if it was Steven or Hexen or Pookie or what, but someone saying something about, I bet you Jen isn't going to be able to do Tarot Tuesday. And it was like a blip on my radar. I hardly checked my phone at all the first couple days. And I remember thinking, oh, good, at least they know that someone will go on and tell them that I can't do it. And I, like, passed out again. It was so bad. All right. So first card we're going to pick is, who is the dead person? And, of course, we pick someone without a... We're going to pick again because I want a person. Damn it. And no person. Let's try one more time. This is going to be it. Damn it. Dead person is... Ooh. 10 of Swords. Wow. Okay, that's a good dead person. We got lots of stories I bet we can tell about this person, right? So the dead person is the 10 of Swords. That's a good one. All right. Now, who is going to be giving the eulogy for the 10 of Swords? And then you guys are going to give me all kinds of suggestions. We'll read the suggested stuff so you get an idea of what we're going to be saying. All right. Who's going to be giving the eulogy for the 10 of Swords? Ooh, the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups. Okay. All right. So the suggestions go as follows. Here are some suggestions for what we're going to say for our eulogy. In what context? Don't forget to, we have to explain how they knew each other. Give a brief life history for the 10 of Swords. Share important achievements that the 10 of Swords has achieved. Mention details about their family, friends, work, hobbies, your favorite memories of them. Was he or she passionate? What was he or she passionate about? And what was his or her legacy? Okay, so again, 10 of Swords. Here we have our dead person. This is us. We are giving the eulogy, and we are the 6 of Cups. So, like, for instance, my first thought was, oh, it's probably a childhood friend. It's probably someone who has known him since childhood, who only saw the best in him, who kind of saw him through childlike eyes, right? So, kind of think of, all right, I saw him through the best of things. He was a loving father. And I have fond memories. Yes, from my childhood. Perfect, Stephen. You and I are right on the same page. Now, first of all, let's say, how did he die? My thought is, I mean, this was more than one person. To me, this looks like a A2 Caesar. Hi, Hacks. Love you, sweetheart. We're doing eulogies. This is the dead person, the 10 of Swords, and we are the person giving the eulogy, and we are the 6 of Cups. So, it kind of seems like an A2 Brute, right? A Caesar kind of moment. This was definitely some kind of conspiracy. He must have really fucked up. But because we are the 6 of Cups, we have fond childhood memories about him, so we kind of want to be nice to him. What deck is this? So I have to say, this is a deck I haven't brought out in a long time. I have several different Rider-Waite clones. This is called the Master Tarot deck, and it was done by Astrology Answers. I don't know if they're still doing this deck. It was quite a few years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Astrology Answers. I like this deck. It has a lot of good color to it. Betrayed by people he thought he could trust. I like that. Yes, he was. Or someone who had a secret dark life. Ooh, I like it, M.A. with shady dealings, but people around him refused to see it. Exactly. So here we are. I would say, you know, he was always so good. Hi, Laura. Hi, Marcy. He was always so good and so wonderful. And I don't understand. He got stabbed in the back 10 times. So obviously, because it was in the back, must mean that they were jealous of all his accomplishments and how wonderful a person he really was. Because we've known him since childhood, and he was always so wonderful to everyone, and he was so smart, and he knew he was smart, and he always tried to help people, right? And perhaps in actuality, he like lauded it over people, but we don't see that because as the Six of Cups, we just think he was just so smart and he wanted to share his gifts with everyone. And we don't understand why anyone possibly didn't like him. I don't understand because he was just so wonderful and he helped everyone. Now, why would I say he was an intellectual? Because swords, right? It had to have something to do with his intellect. Some kind of betrayal. He was betrayed in some way. And of course, the Six of Cups is going to see that betrayal through childlike eyes. Oh, they must have been jealous of him, or there was no real bad things about him. He was just a wonderful person who shared his knowledge with everyone. And if they were doing something wrong, he would point out what they were doing wrong just to help them out. Always, every second. Right? It could possibly get annoying for some people, but not for the Six of Cups. We just know he was super helpful. Reminds me of Jon Snow when they took turns in stabbing him, right? I know it. It's really like that Caesar 10 swords in the back. Ugh. And he didn't see it coming. Or maybe he should have, but he didn't see it coming. Six Cups were innocent. Anything else you can think of? Oh, let's see. What was our questions? Our questions were, in what context did they know each other? Okay, so we've answered that one. We knew each other from childhood. We grew up together. We've known each other forever and ever. Give a brief life, but then he knew nothing. He definitely knows nothing now. A brief life history. So what a wonderful man he was. He was an intellectual. He was perhaps a gifted student who, you know, we all know those students who perhaps, unless you really got to know them, were not the most personable because he came off incorrectly. He came off kind of not so personable because he's such an intellect that some people did not think he was very personable. But we knew better. We knew him long enough to know him, you know, before he had his 8 PhDs, and before he really started reaching out and helping every person that he thought was doing any little thing wrong ever. So, and then, you know, something happened. Share his important achievements. So like I said, I think he enjoyed stamp collecting. Yes. Hi, Leanne. Yes, he definitely probably enjoyed stamp collecting. Definitely. Yep. Important achievements. Like I said, I think he's like got 8 PhDs. He's the perpetual student. So even more so, he kind of believes that he knows more than pretty much everyone. Our favorite memories. So, as the Six of Cups, I would say my favorite memory of him probably has something to do with how wonderful he was at sharing his gifts with me. That at one time he was like Dr. Sheldon Cooper. Oh, I like it. That's a good one. At one time, he really stepped in to help me out when I just didn't know where to turn. I could not. I thought I knew what I was doing in a history lesson, and we were supposed to be writing some papers, and I thought I was on the right page. I had written 20 pages, and he so graciously read over my paper and pretty much outlined in red almost every sentence to let me know that I really needed to scrap it and start over and start from the beginning because I didn't know what I was talking about. How sweet of him that he would do that for me, and so I could make sure that I did it correctly. That was super sweet of him. That's my childhood memory of him. Anybody else got a childhood memory of our poor dead Ten of Swords? As the Six of Cups. Hi, Mark. As the Six of Cups, what is a childhood memory you have of our poor dead Ten of Swords? I like this. You really have to think about what he would have done. Always corrected my spelling. Oh, how sweet of him, right? He was always the grammar Nazi, but not mean. Just let you know that you were saying something incorrectly, or you had written something that was not quite correct. How nice of him to let you know that. Hi, Sonia. What a sweet man to do that for us. Perfect. Yes. Let's think about what was he passionate about? Well, of course he was passionate about his own intellect. He had gone to school for 8 different PhDs, and obviously his family was well off because he could afford to just stay in school and get 8 PhDs. So how fortunate for him that he just didn't have to ever work, but could pursue the knowledge that he felt he needed until he was stabbed 10 times in the back. And what is his legacy? Ooh, what is his, as the Six of Swords, what is his legacy? Our Ten of Swords dead person legacy coming from the Six of Cups. I would say his legacy is that there's so many of us that he's taught, that he's turned our direction so that we were going down the exact correct path, that we should probably donate some money and get together a special, what's it called when somebody goes to college? A special scholarship. We should get together a special scholarship. See, COVID brain. Whew, it's bad. Special scholarship in his name because he was so wonderful to leave us so much of his knowledge. Thank you, Stephen. Leave us so much of his knowledge and make sure that we all remember just how bright and intelligent and willing to give of his intelligence he was. Right? Any questions? Do you guys see how the game works? Again, Dr. Cooper worked at a university. Yes. Found a unique math formula. Yes, absolutely. Not related, but I hate being so damn white. Spent the day outside. Now I have a nice red face and neck. I know. I hear you, Mark. I did not spend the day outside because I'm so white and I have to pull out all of my big floppy hats and my sunscreen and all that. I saw your picture though. And I'm telling you what, I think I could beat you. Look at you can't even tell the difference in my shirt and my skin. It's terrible. Once us white people start showing skin in the summer, it gets really scary, right? Yes, yes, it's a bit scary for sure. I totally hear you. I'm with you. All right, should we do one more? Did you guys like that one? Do you want to do one more eulogy or you want to move on to a different game? I kind of like that. It forces you to look at the card, to think of, what that card means, to think of what that character in the card might have accomplished in his life, his or her life, to think of who you are telling the eulogy. One more. All right, let's do one more. So those of you who just came in, we are doing eulogies. We are picking a card, a tarot card that is the dead person. And then we are picking a card of the person who has to do his eulogy and deciding what the story of this person is. I do too. Me too, Michelle. I'm right there with you. I never tan. I'm white or burnt or back to white. That's it. There's really not a whole lot of in between. There's a teeny tiny, I think one year I was outside so much and that I got a little hint of, I thought it was the greatest thing ever that I wasn't clear. I was like a little tint of color. All right, who's the dead person? Let's see. Dead person is, and we're only doing cards with people. Boy, that Wheel of Fortune really wants to be, but it doesn't have a person on it. I'm going to skip it. Here we go. All right, strength. Woo. Our dead person is strength. And then who is doing the eulogy? Nope, no person. We'll choose another card. Okay. 7. The 7 of Wands is doing the eulogy for strength. All right. So let's stop a minute and think about strength. Strength being the dead person. So think about what we think strength's life would be like. What strength had to offer to people. How does the 7 of Wands know strength? How does he feel about strength? Remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be a good relationship. It could be a complicated relationship between them. And what do we think that the 7 of Wands wants to say about strength's life? Speaking of eulogies, I'm going to a funeral this weekend. Was going to make a satchel for the grave. Any ideas? Yes. Michelle, who is the person who has passed on? Is it a male or female? Is it someone that was close to you? Age? I need to know a little bit because it depends on who that person was to you and what kind of energy they had in their life as to what you want to leave for them. Usually you can't go wrong with a coin and milk and honey, because that is a good offering for anyone. And then the Fae will kind of help take care of the gravesite also. But it depends on who the person was. Sometimes seeds are really good. I would not necessarily do something that will actually grow unless you have permission from the cemetery. Many times the cemeteries like you to have specific things, but you can check with them. But more like fennel seeds are a good offering. That kind of thing. It just depends on the relationship. A lot of times I've brought little gemstone chips. As a matter of fact, usually I carry, especially in the summertime, I usually carry a bottle of gemstone chips. So if I need to give an offering, I can give one of those. or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, strength. So the questions that we have for the strength dead person. In what context did they know each other? So the first question is, how did they know each other? How does the Seven of Wands know strength? So if you think about the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Wands has been struggling, right? Has been felt like everyone is against them. Look at all these people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people. He's had to fight to for what he believes in. Yep, coins, absolutely. So I would say that strength may have helped the Seven of Wands to solidify his stand, his argument, what he believes in, what he's fighting for. Usually when we talk about the Seven of Wands, it is an idea that we believe in so much that we're willing to fight for it, a cause that we're like, you know what, this is something very important that I feel very strongly about. And even though it feels like I'm being attacked on all angles, that I am, you know, on the wrong side, or it seems like a lot of people think I'm on the wrong side. I know I'm in the right, and I'm going to continue to fight. Even though it seems like a lot are against me, I believe in this cause so much that I'm going to fight. So I can totally see strength coming along and saying, hey, you know what? You have great convictions. Don't doubt yourself. Don't feel like you can't make it. Here, I'm going to lend you some of my strength. I'm going to prop you up. I'm going to give you, maybe perhaps strength gave him the wand that he has, his staff here that he has to fight back. Or pebbles. Yep, absolutely. So I would say strength probably was a big help to the Seven of Wands. So we're going to say, you know, strength was wonderful. Strength just came along when I felt like everyone was against me, that I thought I wouldn't be able to go on much longer, that I started to question, am I really doing the right thing? Because boy, it seems like every single person I come across thinks differently and wants me to change my mind. And I get pretty literal sometimes. They both worked at a zoo together. Oh, there you go. Absolutely. They could have both worked at a zoo together. For sure. If you're going to go that direction, strength could have been the lion tamer, you know, the lion feeder. And the Seven of Wands here maybe helped to protect strength as she went out to feed the lions and felt like he had to be, you know, on point all the time because everyone was against him. That's really good. In which case, MA, if that's the case, guess what? I bet I know how strength died. He had the day off one day. Right? You think? And one of the lions attacked, mauled. Figured the lion ate her. Perfect. I love it. Perfect. Hi, Sherry. That's a good one. I like it. Any other ideas? How did they know each other?
Did you just say hi, Sherry Maxwell?
Yeah.
Tell her I said hi, I miss her.
Peter says hello. He misses ya. Any other ideas on how they knew each other? Something different? I love that though, Emma. That's good. The literal thing absolutely can work. For sure, for sure. For sure, man. Like, totally. She said, hi, Peter. Miss you guys too. Nobody? We got 13 people on. Nobody else has any idea how they knew each other? Anything different? Anything? Excuse me. I just inhaled my own spit. Don't do that. Okay. How about if we go back a little bit to maybe a non-literal, we can say that very often strength is about, circus show worlds, fellow creatives. I love it. So maybe, look at this big long stick. Maybe he is a, what do you call it? The tightrope walker. She saved the lion. Oh, I love it. Improvisation. Absolutely. He could be a tightrope walker up here in the circus. Yes. There you go, Michelle. Absolutely. Lion tamer and tightrope walker. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. I was going to say, too, very often strength is about inner strength. So perhaps this is literally like a social worker, right? And this is a kid who grew up in foster care, and she was his social worker and helped him get through the foster care system with some dignity and some inner strength, and kind of taught him how to get through those kind of family trauma situations, right? Could be Africa, and he defended from attacking tribes. Ooh, I like that, right? They were in the same tribe together, and he was, one of the warriors, one of the outside defenders of the tribe. I love it. Hell yeah. Perfect. Really good, you guys. I like that. This really makes us think outside the box, right? We have to kind of think of different things. Give a brief life history. So as the Seven of Wands, giving the eulogy, what is the Seven of Wands going to say about the life history of strength? So if I'm going to go back to my original idea, and you all go back to your original ideas and give me some ideas of what they would say about their life history, I'm going to say that, now I'm going to try to remember what my first one was. They worked together. Oh, all right. So I don't know if I finished my thought, but he was, like a justice worker or something like that. And she helped him by giving him the staff. So, he's going to say, what a wonderful strength giving, always there for you. Oh my goodness, they're talking. I can't see. Always there for you, always giving of herself. Just when I thought I couldn't go on, she was there. And I've seen her do that over and over for people, that she just was always willing to give of herself. She grew up with not so much. Her family was quite poor, and so she knew what it was like to not have. And so she was always willing to give of herself. She was, my imagination is so bad. That's all right. She gave him the chance to see not all that is big and scary is out to get us. Oh, I love that, Sherry. She gave strength to all she knew to overcome what they thought was impossible, right? What a giver. What a wonderful giving person. She always was there. Anytime you were in dire straits, anytime you felt like you couldn't go on, like you had been beat up, put down, that just, there's no way you could continue because it just feels like maybe I'm on the wrong side of this thing. She would give you a call to encourage you. She would gift you, a staff that just felt like you could do anything with this staff. All right. I have got to find a way to shut off notifications so I can see my comments. They always, she just was always there, right? If it's the circus worker, she grew up in kind of a not a great situation. And so when she was 20, she ran away to the circus. And she decided, because she didn't have a lot, because she was not treated right as a kid, that she was going to reach out and give joy to children everywhere. And decided to start teaching or taming the lions. And she just was such an animal person because she was able to really connect to animals. She was never in her childhood great at connecting to people because her parents were awful to her. And so instead she turned to animals, and the animals just loved her. And she then in turn made that so that the animals understood people more. And she made it so that these lions were approachable and were able to connect with children and adults who really needed to feel like they were in control of something. So she helped disadvantaged children a lot. Right? Does that sound like something that would happen? Share important achievements. Okay. I once saw her give literally the sandals off of her feet to a child who came up and was in rags and dirty, and just obviously had nothing. And she just took the sandals right off of her feet and made her feel like she was important, that she was loved. I think you unintentionally described my life. I knew I related to that card. See? And that's why doing these games sometimes is good, Willow, because you very often you will learn something that you didn't know about the card. Because it forces you to think in a different way. Right? How about any other life achievements that the Seven of Wands would have noticed about strength? What other life achievements would the Seven of Wands have noticed about strength? That is a perfect revelation for tonight. That's why I like to do games sometimes, because it really does force you to look at the card a little bit differently and to see the card as a connection and how we can connect to that card, how we might have felt like that card. Definitely. First time she bonded with a lion. Oh, what a story that probably is, right? She was terrified. And there was a group of lions that some idiot, like what's the stupid tiger show? Some idiot had been raising lions in Florida, because of course it's Florida. You know it's going to be Florida. And she was the land contractor that the land got sold to at the time, and went to the land, and there was all of these cages lined up with all these beautiful creatures in it, and they just were so sad. And she looked into one's eyes and saw his sadness and related, like immediately connected, like she had never connected with anything, and knew that she had to help these creatures. Right? I think she would have been someone who climbed. God damn it, you guys. Sorry, one of my chats is blah, 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 and I can't see. I think she would have been someone who climbed a mountain by herself. Oh, I love that. Yes, what an achievement. She absolutely would have. Or hiked the Appalachian Trail alone and told everyone else they could do it too. Oh, yes, I have goosebumps. That's a good one. Yes, I did it. I did it. And I was at the lowest point of my life, and I did it, and you can too. In fact, she told me right? She told me as the Seven of Swords, it's okay to feel beat up. You know what? Take a break once in a while and go and walk the Appalachian Trail, because it makes you see things in a different way. And when you come back, you'll be renewed and ready for the fight again. Perfect. Reminds me of George and Joy Adamson's from Born Free, right? Yes. So good. Yes. Love it. Yes, yes, yes. Mention details about their friends, family, work, and hobbies. So we did some of that. You know, I included like sometimes how we grew up creates a specific connection for us later in life. Either you had a wonderful childhood and so you wanted to pass that on, or you maybe did not grow up with the best childhood and so you wanted things to be different for other people. Both could apply to strength for sure. And I think that the Seven of Wands could see both as a strength. I can see where definitely the Seven of Wands could see both realities as a strength. How about our favorite memories of strength? And that's got to be part of, you know, the Appalachian Trail. Oh, I remember listening to the stories of the people that she met on the Appalachian Trail and how she interacted with animals and humans alike. And just some of the amazing stories that we got to hear about people that she met just by chance that would show up in her life because the universe would put people in her path that she needed to help. And how amazing it was that the universe knew just exactly who to put into her path. How amazing that is. Really good. What was he or she passionate about? I think we've definitely spoken of what she was passionate about, right? And what is his or her legacy? For me, I would say her legacy is that she taught me that I can go on. She taught me that sometimes the best way to continue the fight is to help someone else. It renews your spirit. It renews your sense of what you're fighting for. Sometimes you need to see the results of what us helping someone else can be, so that when we get back to our own fight, we feel like, whew, you know what? This isn't all about me all the time. And I'm doing this for a greater good, for a purpose that I believe in, something that I want to see actually happen. And she was able to reach out and allow me to see how connection is so important when we're fighting for a cause. Right? How's that? Good? Good, good? Love it. See, I love tarot games. This is why. It just is, it's fun stuff that you can pick up a deck and learn in a completely new and different way. Completely new and different. In a way that you would have never thought would be a learning process before. All right, let's pick a different game. There's many here. Okay. The Fate. This is really fun and a nice stealth game I can play at work. Right? There you go. Totally. Pick a card or two cards and start moving it. The fate of many iconic characters we've come to know through film and theater might never have made it to the silver screen or on the boards if they'd sought out a tarot reader. Create a 5-card spread or one of your choosing and give a reading for the following querents. So we're going to talk to some people that are on the other side of the table. So somebody has come to us for a question, for a message. And we're going to pull some cards for them and read for them. Okay? This is a good game. I love doing this. So the first one is Henry VIII comes to you and says that he's had 6 unsuccessful marriages. Imagine that. He's now considering a 7th. What should he look for in a prospective mate that would bode well for a successful union? An iron neck, perhaps? Okay. So, sitting across from us is Henry VIII. And he comes to us and says, all right, I've tried 6 times. I've gotten married 6 times. Hasn't worked out. So, what am I doing? What should I do differently? What will help me be successful in my 7th marriage, which I think I've met this great woman. This is Sherry. This is Bringing the Tarot to Life. This is Scott Martin. I've had this for quite some time, and I've used it several times with big groups. There's a lot of like interactive games if you have big groups. I do it at Witchypalooza. But there are also some games that you can do either on your own or with a couple people or with someone else. This Theater Bean now has the 6th album stuck in my head again. One of my favorites. He needs to do some shadow work. Just saying. Yeah, for sure. Right? He definitely does. Hi, Michelle. All right. So, Henry, I'm sorry that you have had 6 unsuccessful relationships. Let's see what the cards say. I'm going to start by just pulling 3 cards for you to see what those 3 cards are saying for you. For your 7th marriage. All right, so the first card we see is the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands kind of tells me a little bit that perhaps you have been rushing into some of these marriages before that you feel very passionate about, and that's a good thing. But sometimes the Knight doesn't really plan and stop and marry a woman that has already had sons. Oh, I like it. That's a good one, Michelle. Sometimes the Knight doesn't plan enough, doesn't think enough, doesn't kind of do pros and cons. They're so creative and passionate that they just go charging forward and they don't always really think of what the consequences will be. And perhaps if you want this 7th marriage to go better, you need to remember that the Knight of Wands is kind of a warning for you to kind of maybe spend a little more time with her before you get married. Maybe try to figure out exactly, maybe don't rush into your next marriage while you're still married. That would be a good one too. That might help a bit. Yes, absolutely. Okay. The second card here is the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups for me is really the romance card. So this says that you are a very romantic person. Sometimes a bit too passionate and invested in the outcomes of what you believe to be true. So realize that it's a half and half thing. She has to have some say in the marriage in order for it to work. It can't be just your romanticized view of things and then off with her head, or whatever, if it doesn't go well. It really has to be like a 50-50 thing. You have to be able to listen as well as to speak. You have to be able to give a little in order to get some back. Perhaps. Maybe you want to try that just a little. The last card, oddly enough, is the Chariot. The Chariot here really is a good card for you, I think, Henry. I think, let's see. This Chariot does not have any horses. Let's look at this Chariot very carefully. It does not have any horses out in front of him. Instead has Sphinx. But nothing is pulling the cart. Nothing is pulling this chariot forward. There are no reins to be had. Don't rush to the altar, right? It's going to be something that, in order to keep control of the situation, you may have to loosen the reins a bit. You might not have any reins. You might not be able to control every single thing that you want to control about the marriage. So, in order for the 7th marriage here to go okay, really, maybe let go of the reins altogether and just see what happens. See how it goes for a while. Don't rush right down that altar. Don't. It's running over the sphinxes, kind of like the 2 wives you beheaded. Yes, right? It's just going to keep right on rolling through, and that could be a bad thing. That might not be the best thing for you to do. Just saying. All right, that was a good one. Love that one. The Henry VIII reference was great. Or maybe just stop. Yeah, maybe not get married. Maybe just enjoy all that you have as king and understand that maybe marriage isn't for you. It would be okay if you didn't get married again. All right, the next scenario here is Superman's superpowers have finally been zapped by kryptonite. Once and for all. That is until the next sequel. He needs to continue serving his community, and he wants to know how this can best be accomplished. I would be afraid to read for him, right? If you did not give the reading he liked, I definitely would say, like, so this is bulletproof glass in front of us, and you cannot pass over here. And yes, okay. So Superman has lost his powers. The kryptonite has finally gotten to him, and he has no powers. So what is it that Superman should be doing to serve his community from here, seeing as he doesn't really know what to do because he doesn't have any powers? All right, Superman. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Just a simple, 3-card reading. Oh boy, Superman. Okay. So the first card that we have pulled for you, Superman, is death. And death, we all know, is not a literal death, but a very difficult transition. Obviously, this speaks of the loss of your powers, and that this is not going to be an easy transition for you, Clark. It is going to be one fraught with pain. You're really going to feel kind of lost for a while. Do all the washing and ironing. You're really going to feel kind of lost for a while, and like you don't know what to do. And expect that is going to be kind of the normal for you for a little while until you're able to get through this transition, because it is definitely not an easy transition. It is not something you signed up for. It is not something that you are prepared for. It is not something that you want at all. So understand that you're going to have to allow yourself to grieve through this big change that has come for you at this point. But death leaves room for new beginnings. Absolutely. And at the end of this grieving process, we should be able to find something out for you that that will give you a new sense of purpose. Okay. So the second card that we have pulled for you is the King of Swords. King of Swords. The King of Swords tells me that you may not, the fact that you're coming to me tells me that you don't know what to do, but that, boy, you are capable of figuring out the perfect thing for you, the way that you can really serve the community. I understand that you have some writing experience, some journalism, some reporting experience in the past. So keep that in mind. Know that you have the intelligence to do whatever you want to do. Short of maybe, somehow getting your powers back. It sounds like they're pretty much gone for good this time. But your intellect is great, is high enough and wonderful enough, and you have the ability to really step into who you are now. And perhaps maybe some of those pesky powers that you used to have were kind of really holding the intellect back because people just focused on the muscle. And so now is the time that you can really maybe go back to school, maybe really use the brain power that you have to solve some of the world's problems. It would be great if we had someone who could negotiate with, like, say, Russia and Ukraine. That would be, and you have the intellect to do that. Maybe he was accustomed to using his bodily powers. Maybe he needs to go back to school. MA. I love it. I love that the lag meant that I didn't see that comment before, but yes. I love when we are right on. Stephen and I, Emma and I, we're right on together. Absolutely. Do something to strengthen your intellect. Do something to use your intellect. You have it. Use it. Okay, the last card is also a little scary. So this is a really tough time for you, Clark. I feel very bad that you just feel so lost. The last card is the Devil. The Devil speaks of, see the chains here? The Devil really speaks of feeling as if you're in chains. And I really feel like because you're having such a hard time with the loss of your powers, I feel like really your powers were a crutch, that they tied you into one thing and one thing only. And people only saw you as that one thing. And you really have to change your way of thinking to realize that you are so much more than what your powers said you were. That you really can soar in new and interesting ways now that you don't have that to fall back on. You really have the intellect to do so many other things that people will maybe take you a little more seriously than just, oh yeah, he can fly and he has, X-ray vision and super strength, and that all seems very shallow. And you have the ability to dig so much deeper now that you have cut these chains from what was weighing you down. Does that make sense? Sound good? That seem like a plausible reading for Superman? How are we liking this one? You guys getting some stuff out of this? Yeah, I like these a lot. There are so many different games in here. I do want to continue on with this one. I think maybe we'll end with this one. I know we've only played a couple, but there are some really good scenarios here. COVID brain. I'm extra squirrely, sorry. There's some really good scenarios here. Let me go through and read several of them so that even if we're not doing it together, maybe like you said, you can kind of do some of these readings while you're bored at home and you want to do something with tarot. Right? Exactly. Oh, that would be great. And yes, pick your favorite movie, pick your favorite TV show and start reading for those characters. Hamlet. Hamlet is agonizing over how to avenge his father's death. He considered murdering his uncle and even soliciting actors to reenact the scene of the crime. He is paralyzed by indecisiveness. He's finally decided to come to a tarot reader for guidance. What should he do? That's a good one. Dr. Frankenstein thinks he has discovered a way to cheat death. Though he questions the moral and ethical implications, he is ego-driven by his obsessive need to be godlike. He wants to know the possible outcomes if he moves forward with his plan or abandons it altogether. That's a really good one. Bonnie Parker has just met Clyde Barrow. He wants her to run away with him. She's very attracted to him and finds his invitation almost irresistible. Still, she's a small-town girl living a very conservative lifestyle and questions the advisability of such unconventional behavior. She seeks out a tarot reader for input. If she goes with him, what will her new life look like? Should she stay or should she go? Bonnie and Clyde, that's a good one. In the film Fatal Attraction, Dan Gallagher has had a brief affair with Alex Forrest. A one-night stand for him has become a relentless, obsessive pursuit for her. No is not an answer she understands. I will not be ignored. Dan has decided to consult a tarot reader to find a way to get her off his back and to end this nonsense. How should he proceed? That's okay, Fatima. Joan of Arc, a simple, pleasant girl, has received visions of the Archangel Michael, St. Margaret, and St. Catherine, giving her a mandate to support Charles VII and to reclaim France from English domination. What to do, what to do. She goes to a tarot reader. She wants to find out what her life will look like if she ignores these visions and continues living on the farm with her parents. That's a good one. Julius Caesar is so exhausted after having his enemy Pompey assassinated and then eliminating his two sons that he almost skipped going to the Senate. After all, his wife, Calpurnia, had a bad dream about an assassination plot and begged him to stay home. He even ignored the advice of a soothsayer. Beware the Ides of March. If there had been a tarot reader around, Caesar might have said, all right, I don't believe in any of this nonsense, but my wife and the soothsayer think I shouldn't go to the Senate today. What do the cards say? That's a good one. And finally, really? Thelma and Louise had no other choice but to drive off a cliff? They wouldn't be the first to have gotten away with murder, or perhaps the poor sap would still be alive and the girls would be sipping mojitos in the Bahamas. If only they had consulted a tarot reader before that fateful day. If they had come for a reading before this predicament had gotten so far out of hand, what wisdom would the cards have revealed? So I love all of these. Let's do one more. Let's do Dr. Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein thinks he has discovered a way to cheat death. Though he questions the moral and ethical implications, he is ego-driven by his obsessive need to be godlike. He wants to know the possible outcomes if he moves forward with his plan or abandons it altogether. All right, Dr. Frankenstein. So here we go. This will be the last one for now, and we'll play these games again. I'll move on and play a couple different games. The next time we go through a round of games, we'll like every couple months or something, we'll do a round of games to lighten the mood and do something a little different to learn. Okay, so Dr. Frankenstein, you want to know what happens if you move forward. Wow, what a scientifically edgy plan. It seems a little scary, but I guess all science comes from trial and error, so I can see why you would want to move forward. It seems a little unethical, but I guess, again, who am I to judge? Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Dr. Frankenstein. All right, I pulled two cards. I'm going to leave the first one because I think the other one just rode with it. Dr. Frankenstein. So, funny enough, first of all, Dr. Frankenstein did not get any major arcana cards. Dr. Frankenstein, I just right off the bat, before I even really look into what the minor arcana cards we have pulled for you, this seems like such a life-changing experimentation process. And to have no major arcana cards, I don't know. I must say that I think at first glance, this might not be the right time to move forward with this major life-changing, life-affecting thing. But let's see what the cards have to say. All right, so the first card that we have pulled for you, Dr. Frankenstein, is the Eight of Cups. Again, this is quite the portent, for me anyway, for really saying, if you moved forward with this major experimentational process, emotionally, it doesn't seem like this is a good fit for you. Even though you might on paper see all these wonderful things that could happen, emotionally, this is not for you. This is not the path that you really should be turning down. In fact, it really, you see, the man here, Dr. Frankenstein, is you, and he's turning his back on these 8 cups that are full, and that, you know, even it's such a hard thing when you've been working so hard for something and they seem perfectly good, but you know what? This is just not the right path for you. It is really time to turn around and walk away. Walk to a different direction. Seek out something different. This is not the right path for you. That is a very clear card. There isn't many that clear-cut advice kind of cards in the tarot. And the fact that the first one we pulled really tells us, Dr. Frankenstein, that this is not the path for you. This is not a great portent to say, yes, let's move forward. We'll start with that. Okay, so the next card here is a sword, which is all about intellect. However, this particular sword, the Four of Swords, says, whoo, hold on, slow down, take a step back. Why don't we rest a while before you move forward with digging up dead bodies and putting different parts together to create a new human being and trying to make life yourself? Let's take a break. Let's go on vacation. Take some extended naps. Just take it easy for a little while. Really take some time to let that simmer in your head and think things through a little bit more before you step forward with this plan. It might not be the best plan for you at this time. Take some time off. Rest, relax, vacation. Don't do anything drastic. And finally, once again, the last card is the King of Swords. Maybe the King of Swords is really telling you, you have a ton of intellect. You have the knowledge base and the ability, the brains, to really think of something great. And maybe the research part of this whole experimentation process is not quite over yet, and you need to go back to school, find something that will perhaps really spark some conversation intellectually to find the correct path here, because boy, all of these cards together are really looking like this is not the correct move for you, Dr. Frankenstein. I'm sorry. I really think the monster within kind of needs to stay within for now. I think perhaps the human experimentation part, it's a little too early for that. It's time to take a step back, rest, go a different direction, find something that can intellectually challenge you that isn't perhaps experimenting with dead bodies. Just saying. I really think the cards are pointing you in that direction. Hopefully, I think. All right. What do you think? Click the like button for me. I'm so glad to be back for Tarot Tuesday. I'm so glad that you all have joined me, that you have welcome. I'm so glad to be here again. I can't tell you. It's something very eye-opening to be that sick. That deep down he knows the answer is nope, but he still needs someone else to tell him, oh, Emma, yes, right? Oh, I feel that. Yeah, he's smart enough to know, but he just doesn't want to listen to that little voice in his head. He wants somebody that he thinks is smarter than him to tell him. I agree. Yes, we are. I'm feeling so much better. I'm really glad to be back. I will tell you that probably, and I'm sorry to say this, but probably, in another, I would say, where are we at? We're in the beginning. Well, we're almost mid-May now. Whew. In another probably 3 weeks or so, I will be postponing Tarot Tuesday until after Witchypalooza, because it really, once we get down to the last month, we really, I need to put a lot of my focus into Witchypalooza. Witchypalooza this year is July 27th to August 3rd. If you are at all able to come out, we have a wonderful site for it this year. We are really planning some awesome things. I'm really excited about Witchypalooza this year. And I'm so looking forward to it. I really am hoping that we have a good turnout. I think it's just going to be incredible. I'm really, really excited. And I'm part of why I'm excited. Whoo, I have a fan right in front of me. I love it. Part of why I'm so excited is because we have decided this year that we are kind of building in enough downtime so it doesn't seem like we're rushed. Like, it doesn't seem like every part of every day is scheduled. We are still doing classes, but we are having enough downtime that people can just sit and be together, that we can do some fun games and stuff, but it's not quite as scheduled as I have had it maybe in the past. But still scheduled enough that we have lots of ideas and we have lots of classes and we have lots of fun. It's going to be great. I'm really, really excited. You can't this year, Fatima? Oh, I wish you could. It's not too far from where we were before. It's about an hour away. We are in outside Medina, actually, in a town called I'm gonna do a video about it. It's, if you look up Albion, Medina area, it's right in between there. And COVID brain kicks again. I'm not gonna be able to figure it out. Can't believe it. Nope, I'm not. All right, but I so hope as many of you that can possibly come can. You're in Rhode Island? Aw. Well, people are coming from all over. So, you know, there is no cost to come. You just have to kind of pay for your own to be there. Bring a tent. We are, you know, going to be camping. It's a great spot to camp. We have access to the house. I believe there's going to be a pool there maybe. We are really going to have a whole lot of fun. So, join us if you can. All right, I love you guys. Thank you for coming for the return of Tarot Tuesday and for having fun with us. And I'll see you next week.